Guys, all right, sweet. We'll kick it off with GU. I'm open to buying GU right now. I just think it's going to blow through the point that I want to use as a smart money trap. So what we've got on GU, obviously, as we know, we've been reacting out of that extreme area. Not expecting it to hold personally, just given where we're coming from on a higher time frame, what we've induced, and the bullish momentum that we've got. We've now had a couple of bearish breaks to the downside out of a point that I believe is a smart money trap, generated a lot of liquidity across the top. We've now taken the retest of this break and the previous decisional of that internal break. Not going to hold too much relevance in terms of what's pushing price up. I believe it's more so the inducement of sellers, but a little bit of this is obviously causing that to push up from there. Since then, we've broken to the upside. That should be straight line, not arrow. Broken to the upside, had a little bit of a slower retracement to the downside, generated some liquidity on that pullback, mitigated an extreme area. We have then a broken 5-minute structure, little inducement, mitigation, break, little inducement, break, left our extreme, inducement into extreme, following with the bullish momentum, mitigating it now at this point, which I believe will be a smart money trap. Happy to buy through here, open to buying through here, depending on what structure's formed. If we get something like this, I'll be open to working like down here, targeting this, and ultimately the inducement of that area. Whether I'd hold to there or not's a different story. But yeah, ultimately looking for that sort of play. Now, a lot of it is off the back of what the DXY is doing. So I don't really like EU. If we go over to the DXY, all right. On the DXY, we are bearish externally on the 15-minute. We're bearish externally on the 4-hour as well. With mitigating the decisional of our 4-hour break, getting really strong reaction from it since. We've now retested internally the 15-minute break, had that inducement to the downside, generated the liquidity, swept this point, mitigated this whole area, which is a demand to supply that created that break of structure, and we're getting a little bit of a sell-off since. So I do think we've got good potential to push down from here with the DXY at the very least until we take something like this area, that retest of that break. But I am seeing that as retest currently, and obviously getting a little bit of a reaction from it since. So I'm happy to follow it along with that. I'm just going to keep GU up here as well because I am open to sell out buying it. And the issue with GU is we don't have a lot of structure to work with for buyers. I'd like for it to come all the way down. I'll probably work with an internal play again, to be honest. Cool. But yeah, so we'll see what that wants to do on the DXY. We'll keep an eye on EU while we're at it. Cool. All right, EU. EU I don't love. So EU's at the top of this 15-minute leg. It has swept this point here, which I don't really see as a whole lot, but clearly it's given quite a strong reaction to it. It is a bigger demand to supply area, and did lead to a lot of price action being induced. So it obviously holds weight in the market. We're reacting, however, though, from this area, which is the last pullback before the break. However, it took no liquidity. So I don't personally see it as a valid area of mitigation. I've actually got this area here as my decisional point. This area is more so actually highly probably going to be a smart money trap. However, given what the DXY is doing and what GU is doing, we may get a bit of a bullish push from here. I'm not looking to do anything with EU though. I'll be waiting for EU to come up here and I'd actually be open to selling it. So yeah, I'm not looking to do anything with EU at the moment. If EU were to induce this, come down, it is a 50% of Asia inducement. It is a mitigation of this area here, and it is an inducement of retest. So it very well can push up from there. I'm just really not interested in where it's coming from, so I'm going to avoid trading it today. Now going over to AU. AU is just at the top of its leg. I'm not doing anything with it. We're at the top of a 4-hour leg. We're extremely bullish. We are really just, we're in the middle of nowhere. It's clearly coming for this supply area, but yeah, we're in the middle of nowhere on AU, so I'm not going to even bother doing anything with it. Cool. EG. mitigating this point here, which is the extreme of our 15-minute leg after breaking a 4-hour low, pushing very aggressively up into it. Got that break to the downside. So we'll see what it wants to do after the inducement of that. Obviously getting a little bit of a reaction since, nothing too crazy, and not going to hold too much relevance in current price action. Going to be playing it off of what obviously GU wants to do. If it can come down and induce this, that'll be much nicer. But yeah, really ultimately today just got the focus on GU, and I'll just keep an eye on what EU wants to do. And yeah, we'll take it from there. There's no news or anything until later on for New York. We've got that red folder all day news again, so shouldn't cause too much impact on the market. It didn't yesterday. Be patient with it. We had that really good sell yesterday that most of us caught, so well done to everyone that did manage to catch that. Patience today is we're in a bit of an interesting spot in the market. We're setting up good for where price is going to be going over the next month. So patience, and yeah, we'll see what we can do with it.